Hey guys, it's Chris. From ancient Viking treasure to piles of gold, join me as I reveal 8 of the most amazing treasures ever found underwater. Number 8. The Cuerdale Hoard. In 1840, some men were doing some work near an embankment near the Cuerdale River near Preston, England. But as they were digging, they came across something they didn't expect: a giant lead box. Inside this box was a hoard of items from ancient Vikings, 8,600 pieces to be exact. Included in the hoard were silver coins, ingots, jewelry, and many other wonders of the Viking world. The Viking people never just settled in one area. They spread across the entire world, or the world they could reach at least. And to that end, many of the items in the box were from various factions of Viking culture. Naturally, there were many pieces from the tribes that lived in England, but others were found in the box that were confirmed to be from Scandinavia, Italy, and Byzantium. As for what happened to the Cuerdale Hoard, as it was called after its discovery, the mass of it was presented to Queen Victoria as a gift. The value of the treasure is measured at $3.2 million, which was worth a ton back then, and some of the pieces of the hoard can be found now in the British Museum. Number 7. Belitung Shipwreck. The Belitung Shipwreck occurred in 830 AD. Specifically, this was an Arabian ship, one that was set to go from Africa to China, and it did make it to China. However, when it set to return home, the ship was wildly off course for a reason that no one understands, and because of this, it ended up sinking off the coast of Belitung Island in Indonesia. Fast forward to 1998, and the shipwreck was found in the Gelasa Strait, and only 51 feet below the surface of the waters. After the fishermen found it, they sold the location of the ship to a company so that they could excavate it. And when they did, they found all sorts of wares from China, ones that were incredibly valuable. Some of the items found included the largest Tang Dynasty gold cup ever found, gold bowls, green splashed bowls from Iran, motifs from Central Asia and Persia, gilt silver boxes, gold dishes, and many valuable and expensive artifacts from various different dynasties. It's not even just the items themselves, but the number of them that were amazing, including 60,000 Dusun storage jars. When calculated all together, the Belitung Shipwreck is worth $90 million. Number 6. SS Garasopa. Back in 1919, the people of England built a steam merchant ship called the SS Garasopa, and the ship was so good and long-lasting that it eventually made its way into service during World War II. It was given a mission to transport some silver to Ireland in 1941, but during its voyage, it was torpedoed by a German U-boat. Though the SS Garasopa tried to get away, it burned up all its fuel and eventually sank beneath the waves. Then, 70 years later, in 2011, the Odyssey Marine was dispatched to try and find the wreckage of the ship, and sure enough, it did. And intact was 40 tons of silver that the SS Garasopa was transporting. What's weird about this isn't the find, but that the ship was given 200 tons of silver to take to Ireland, which means that either the ocean took the silver away when it wrecked, or someone found the silver first and no one's talking about it. Regardless, the 40 tons of silver were valued at $210 million. And now for number 5, but first, if you're new here, please subscribe to World List before you go. We don't want you missing out on any of our latest videos. Number 5. The Atocha. In 1622, a fleet of ships was set to leave from Havana, Cuba, and go straight to Spain. This fleet was 28 ships strong, and they carried gold, silver, emeralds, pearls, and more from various Central and South American countries. They were meant to help support Spain during a rough time, but no sooner did they set sail on September 4th than they ran into a hurricane. Much of the fleet sank, including one of the prized vessels of the fleet, the Nuestra Señora de Atocha, which was one of the most heavily armed ships of the bunch. But heavily armed doesn't mean you're ready for a hurricane bearing down on you. The legend of the ship, now commonly referred to as the Atocha, had spread, and pieces of the shipwreck were found near Key West in Florida. So many set to explore the waters to see what they could find, including a treasure hunter named Mel Fisher, who spent 16 years of his life trying to find the ship. And sure enough, he did in 1985. His discovery was the motherlode of the treasure, and its estimated value when combined was that of $450 million. His discovery was so grand that he opened up a museum that's still there today, where you can still find most of the treasure trove. During the celebration of the 30th anniversary of the find, some of the pieces of the treasure were sold off at auction. Number 4, the Titanic. On April 15, 1912, the unsinkable ship known as the Titanic sank in the North Atlantic Ocean after striking an iceberg. This collision set off a series of events that led to the ship filling with water, breaking in two, and causing the death of over 1,500 people when all was said and done. It was such a catastrophic event that no one believed it sank at first. But many decades after, the ship itself, or more accurately its pieces, were sought out by various parties. This included the US military. Finally, in 1985, a large section of the Titanic was found. Unfortunately, the section they discovered was found 12,000 feet below sea level, which meant that it would be impossible to recover the vast bulk of the ship. However, when its location was leaked, many went down to the ship and brought up many artifacts that were found in the vessel. This has since been deterred because of UNESCO, who have labeled it a protected site via the UNESCO Convention on the Protection of Underwater Cultural Heritage. There are many who debate the actual value of the ship, especially since many claim the ship is worth more than the items that are within it. The reason for this belief is because this was the largest active ocean liner to have ever sunk. Not to mention, it holds a special place in history. Now, parts of the ship itself have been recovered, but not the hull of its halves. Though it won't be raised to the surface now, because if it has been, it truly would be priceless, and no doubt will be on display in a museum somewhere in the world. But until then, many just have to wonder what it would look like. And if they need to remember what it did look like before the sinking, they can look up pictures or watch the various documentaries about it, or even the Oscar-winning film Titanic made by James Cameron. Number 3, Caesarea Sunken Treasure. In Caesarea National Park, Israel, some scuba divers decided to go and explore the waters of the area. And when they did, they stumbled across a gold coin. But at first, they didn't think it was real, but rather a child's toy or something like it. However, as they kept exploring, they kept finding more and more gold coins. So they decided to take a look at the gold and found that they had some engravings on them, meaning that not only were they real, they were official gold coins, which is very important. Knowing this, they went to the Israeli Antiquities Authority and got permission to look for even more of these coins. And sure enough, they found over 2,000 of them. But what's key to note, though, is that it wasn't just a single batch of coins that had been lost at sea. Instead, it was a variety of coins from different points in time, sometimes even different centuries. And many of these coins were of different denominations. And because of this wide variety of coins and their historical importance, it's actually rather hard to put a price or value on all of them. To that end, this collection is dubbed priceless. Number 2, San Jose. During the Spanish War of Succession, the King of Spain needed a way to keep his money reserves full, as the war was dragging on and it would last 13 years. And it was costing the country greatly. So he sent a massive galleon called the San Jose to South America to raid some of the colonies that were there to help support the war. On June 8, 1708, the San Jose was sunk by a British ship, which was quite a feat given that the San Jose had 600 crew members and 62 guns on board. Also on board, though, was a massive treasure trove of gold, silver, and emeralds from the South American conquests. What made this particular treasure trove a must-find in the eyes of treasure seekers is that the wealth that was upon this ship was apparently around $17 billion. Many years passed until finally, in 2015, the San Jose was discovered off the coast of Colombia near Cartagena. The Colombian Navy actually found it, and it had sunk 2,000 feet below the surface of the ocean. While not all of the treasure has been found, or at the very least it's not been publicly documented, the discovery of the San Jose is a massive find. Some even consider the San Jose the holy grail of shipwrecks because of its massive value. Number 1, Atlantis. Though not an actual find, And debatably not even a treasure, many scientists, historians, and more believe that there is an underwater city that has treasures and technologies far more advanced than we have right now. And the common name for this place is Atlantis. Steeped in the mythology of many realms, many agree that Atlantis was a place of great wonder and riches. So much so that their wealth angered the gods themselves, and thus they sank the city as a warning to the people of Earth about what happens when you rise too high. The weird part here is that Plato's writing of Atlantis was meant to be more of a footnote rather than an epic tale, but people latched onto it, and its legend changed and warped as it went throughout the world. Hence why people believe it's a real thing today. In truth, if a city was truly found, it would be a massive achievement for the person who found it. And there have been many cities found beneath the waves, such as Pavlopetri in Greece, or an ancient city near India in the Gulf of Cambay, or a mysterious one that's in the waters of Cuba, 2,000 feet below sea level. The point is, there is a precedent for cities being underwater, and some are said to be the inspiration for Plato's tale of Atlantis. But some still view finding Atlantis as the ultimate treasure of the waters of the world, and so they go and search for it, hoping to find the answer to one of the greatest legends in the world. Well, thanks for watching. What did you think of these amazing treasures found in the sea? Which one of them was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on World List.